Let's solve the second problem from Sadhika only. It's a solved problem, but at least the reason I'm solving this is so that at least the conventions become clearer. Okay, so the loop shown in figure 9.7 here is inside a uniform magnetic field B equal to 50 AX milliweber per meter square. If the side DC of the loop cuts flux lines, this particular side cuts the flux lines at the frequency of 50 Hz, and the loop lies in the plane at time t equal to 0, find the induced EMF at t equal to 1 millisecond and the induced current at t equal to 3 milliseconds. So first thing, we know that it's a case of a motional EMF where your loop is moving now. Loop is moving at a this is the direction which is given, so it's moving in the counterclockwise, so it's going to rotate around the z axis. Okay, and the loop is moving in counterclockwise direction along with axis along the z axis. It's moving like this. Okay, it's rotating like this around the z axis. So what we have to find out is we are given omega, the frequency at which it is moving is given as 50 Hz. Okay, and so we'll have to convert this particular we are told that this particular side of the loop cuts the field. The other sides are assumed to be not cutting, so they will be having a u of 0. So this guy will be 0, this guy will be 0, and this guy will be 0. So the whole formula of EMF, PEMF equal to L u cross B dot dl will turn into u cross B. This will become equal to over the CD side of that. So u, that's what the formula will turn into, since the other parts have a u equal to 0. Okay, let's first convert u into f into u. So I know that f equal to 50 Hz, so omega will be equal to 100 pi by 2 pi into f, which is 100 pi radians per second. Now the relation between u and omega is given as, or omega is equal to, I know that since it's rotating around the z axis, d phi by dt, change in this angle. Omega is an angular frequency, right? It's an angular frequency, so the rate at which this particular angle is changing is omega. Okay, d phi by dt. In this case, u will be equal to rho into d phi by dt, d phi by dt. Okay, so that will be my u. Rho is the radius at which this particular loop is moving. Okay, this particular side of the loop is moving, CD. So it's spaced at a distance of 4 centimeters, right, which is also given as rho. So I can write this as rho, side AD as rho. So rho into d phi by dt is u. Okay, so here u equal to rho into d phi by dt, and the direction of my u will be a phi, will be always in the tangential direction, which will be a phi. Okay, this will be my a phi direction. So rho into omega into a phi is u now. What is b? B is given as 50 AX. So if I have to convert this is my b, AX. So I have to convert it into rho phi and z, because my either I convert this into rho phi z or this into x y z, a phi into. So I'll do the the earlier one. So I'll convert AX. So if you see this, right, B is equal to B0X. Right now we'll just use a term called as B0. It's a magnitude which is actually 50. The magnitude of the field is 50. Right, 50 AX is given, 50 AX milliwebers. So 50 into 10 raised to minus 3 is B0. minus 3. Minus 3 is B0. So B0 AX is cos phi A rho minus sin phi A phi. Okay, so that is how I can convert AX into A rho and phi. So I know U cross B now will turn into A rho A phi AZ. Okay, this will be B0 cos phi minus B0 sin phi 0. So the product U cross B will be minus B0 rho omega cos phi AZ. Okay, because this is the determinant of this, so only this guy will exist, rest everything will go to 0. So that will be only AZ component. Okay, now this U cross B is now minus 0 2 pi cos phi AZ. Now see this particular scenario, the direction of the current is same as the direction of U cross B. U cross B is now going in minus AZ direction, which is clear from this. U cross B is minus AZ, right? So it's going down here, something like this. Okay, it's coming like this. This is how it is moving. Okay, so so this is my direction of I. Now if this is I, VEMF will be plus and minus. Okay, another thing is DL. DL is, this is my Z, right? This is my X, this is my Y. So this is the same diagram as this one here, a similar one. Okay, so this is the direction of my U cross B, which is minus AZ direction in this loop, right? So now if that is the case, right, so DL will be given as DZ AZ. DL is DZ AZ. The limits of the integration will be opposite to the direction of the current, right? So this is my direction of current. So the limits of my integration will be from 0 to Z equal to 0 to 3 centimeters. It's not along I, it's opposite. So this is what I will get, Z equal to 0 to 3 centimeters, opposite to the direction of current. Okay, then this is my U cross B and this is DL. So what it turns out as, this will be 0.2 pi cos phi. So I just plugged in this here. B0 is 50 milliwebers, rho is 4 centimeters, omega is 100 pi. So this is minus 0.25 cos phi is my U cross B. So I plug it in here and into 0.03. This is the answer. Okay, now next thing is I have to convert this phi. This is the phi here. I have to convert this. What is given is that the loop lies in the YZ plane at time t equal to 0. YZ plane is this plane. Loop is here, something like this is your loop going to be in the YZ plane at t equal to 0. Yeah, so I know that omega equal to d phi by dt, right? So phi, if I integrate on both sides, I'll get phi equal to omega t plus k. K is a constant of integration. Okay, I know that at t equal to 0, phi equal to pi by 2. Phi equal to pi by 2, because that's where your loop is, in the YZ plane. It's in the YZ plane. YZ plane, then so at t equal to 0, phi equal to, so k becomes equal to pi by 2. So phi equal to omega t plus pi by 2. So I plug it in here, I get minus 0.06 pi cos phi, which is your VEMF which I had got, is equal to cos omega t plus pi by 2. So VEMF, this cos omega t plus pi by 2 becomes sin omega t minus sin omega t. So this gets cancelled to equals plus. Okay, and now at t equal to 1 millisecond, what I will be getting is 0.06 sine of 100 pi into 1 milliseconds is 0.1 pi. So it is 5.825 millivolts. Okay, in the second case, induced current at t equal to 3 milliseconds is what is to be found out. So R is 0.111. So here now so this will be VEMF. Whatever VEMF is across this, whatever is induced here will be dropping across this AB. That AB divided by VEMF divided by R will be the induced current. Okay, so VEMF here divided by R is your induced current, which is 0.06 pi into at t equal to 3 milliseconds, 0.3 pi divided by 0.1, which is 0.1525 amperes. So this is 0.125 amperes. Just have a look at this. This is fine. Now one thing which we have to see is what exactly happens now at t equal to 0. It is something like this, right? Loop is something like this, right? In the YZ plane at t equal to 0. From the top view, if I see the top view, what will happen is I will be seeing this is where your loop will be along the YZ plane. This one, Z is coming towards us. Okay, Z value is coming towards us, Z axis is coming towards us. That's how it will look like. Now the moment at t equal to 1, what will be happening is the loop will be t equal to 1 millisecond. The loop will be in the somewhere here, something like this. It will be moving from this quadrant to this quadrant, right? So from pi equal to 5 will be pi by 2. This is my pi by 2 plus this angle, small angle, which is your omega t. Okay, now what is happening is the flux lines are coming along this particular x-axis, right? Now so what is Lance's law telling me is the loop here when it is along the YZ plane, that time it's the VEMF value will be 0 because it's not moving. Okay, and B field is coming in the towards us in the x plane along the x-axis, right? So let me just redraw it properly. So let's just say that this is how the loop is, and your field is coming in the x direction, right? So something like this. So field is coming in the x direction. Now this, for this particular scenario, VEMF is 0 because the field is at t equal to 0. It's stationary. Now it starts moving. Okay, at t equal to 1, the loop moves to the like this. So it's gone backwards. Okay, now what is happening is the flux cutting through this particular loop is decreasing, right? Because your B passing through this loop is decreasing, right? So for you to maintain a constant flux, which was maximum when the loop position was in the YZ plane, now it is moving. So the area through which the flux the B passes through decreases. I have to support the B. I have to oppose the decrease in B. So whatever the current induced has to create a B field which will increase the B, right? So that will happen only when the B which is induced is also pointing in this direction, and that is possible only when I is in this particular direction. Okay, now when I is in this direction, your VEMF will be plus and minus. So that's how you get the value here. If you see this, right, VEMF is positive here, and it is it's actually the I across this is 0.1525 amperes. Okay, whereas in the scenario when the loop is in this quadrant, okay, when the loop is in this quadrant, what is happening is it started from the loop being here, right, and it was 0 because there was no field which was hitting this particular loop when it is in the XZ plane. Now it starts moving, rotating in this direction. So now the flux which passes through this loop increases, because from 0 it is slightly, now there is some B lines which are passing through this loop, and the flux starts increasing. Now whatever current has to be induced has to be like in a way that it opposes that increase. So that is possible when you generate a field which is induced field which is going into the book, not coming out. So that's why you have a current which is flowing in this direction. Clear? Yeah. So that is as per the Lenz's law. This is what we follow here when we use this Faraday's law and this particular equation. Clear?